Good afternoon, welcome to JLC EV. This is one of our smallest vehicles we do. JLC EV was born pretty much about 18 months ago now. We formed a separate company from JLC Group, which is, as you can see around the building, if you walk around, is our main building. So I first decided to bring EV vehicles in just before COVID for the airport sector, which we do a lot of work in. We've had a really good start to the year actually. We sold a lot to a university. We've got interest from some major shopping brands, so that's a really good start for us. Next year will be a big year for us. If we get up to sort of 500 vehicles a year, that'll be a good position for us to be in. The signs are looking really good at the moment, really good. We've got a lot of different companies asking us all the time, so that's really good.
And you were at the electric vehicle show last week or the week before, wasn't it?
Commercial vehicle show. Yeah, really good. One of our best shows we've ever done, I think. Although we had a really good London EV show back in December. So yeah, that was really good. I think the thing about our vehicles, and that's where probably people get confused about electric vehicles. We're not a car. Our electric vehicles are designed to do a job, and it's about matching the job to the van. You know, and that's critical. This is only do 74 miles, but for last mile delivery, absolutely perfect. We had a London council borough, and their focus was on a certain type of vehicle. It was actually on the Orca van that you see over there. They weren't interested. They wanted it limited to 20 miles an hour, and they only did about 20 miles a day. So you can see how these fit into their marketplace, and they're not going to cost you the earth. I think we're about 12 grand for this little one, 14 grand, and the dearest one we do is 20 grand after the government grant. So yeah, and we're in a typical British summertime now, a little breeze.
So what sort of companies then? So for example, looking at the city one behind you here, the little single-seater,
Yep.
really cool little van. What sort of company? I mean, you mentioned things like last mile delivery. Are there any kind of particular businesses or market sectors or companies who you think would be interested in this van, or this van would be good for?
If you're an individual and you run a small business, perfect. Anything from a florist to a baker's, all those type of things. If you are a major international store, of which we have quite a few in this country, we've had interest from all of those, which is really good, and also from other sectors that have a lot of vehicles on the road. You'll see them a lot daily, and that's about where we are with that.
And what do you do in terms of things like servicing? So obviously there's the after sales side of things that you're kind of very active in as well for the electric vans.
Servicing on these is really good. So if you can imagine, I suppose the best way to describe our vans, we're an upgraded milk float. Milk floats and electric vehicles are not new. Everyone thinks, oh yeah, and everyone worries about the charging times and the range and all that stuff. We're an upgraded milk float, so our vans do a job, and they're matched, like I said earlier, to the job. I suppose servicing wise, we generally offer, most of our people that when they buy our vans will take either a 3 or a 5 year maintenance package out with the vehicle. They're not like your diesels or your petrol vehicles. They're very simple to maintain. You know, even things like brake pads and stuff like that, you don't get as much wear as you would for a petrol or diesel van. Don't quote me on that. Someone will come up with some statistics and say where we are. But generally, with our vehicles, I suppose the biggest saving, the biggest way to look at our vehicles is a circle of life. So you buy a vehicle for, say, let's say 5 years. Typically, we've just done some pricing for a customer that wants 5 vehicles. They're going to do 800 miles a year in their van. 800 miles a year. You know, they'll charge maybe, you know, if we get them right, they'll charge it, let's say twice a week, 100 times. They get a 2,000 warranty on the battery anyway. You know, divide that into there, it gives you an idea of the number of years you're going to get. So after 5 years, we can bring it back in, we can give it a good old service, send it back out for a second year. You know, even if it's costing you 1,500 quid for a good overhaul, you're now looking for 10 years worth of vehicle, you're only paying, what's that going to be, 17 grand? So then you half that, and then you can do another period after that, and then you can look at this, you know, around the world where we can send the vehicles thereafter.
So the cost comparison value then, in terms of having an electric vehicle like this from a servicing perspective and a maintenance perspective, it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely, circle of life. This big circle of life. Keep thinking of this circle of life. Look after what you have, and it'll keep going.
So, if you were going to say one thing to somebody who is looking at an electric van, going, oh, I'm not so sure, I've got my Berlingo, I've got my transporter, oh, it's a little bit different. What would be the one thing you would want to say to them?
Running costs. What do you use your van for? How much payload do you need? Match the vehicle to what their requirement is, and then explain exactly all about the running costs and how much it costs to run a vehicle. Makes a massive difference. You know, and that it's not just that. So we had a particular person that had a van, and they were about 2 miles outside the zone. So they saved themselves that fee every day from going in and out of London already. So add that to the monthly turnaround, the vehicle almost pays for itself.
So this is the ULEZ when you're kind of going in and out of London.
Yep.
These are all exempt.
Yep, indeed. These are simple electric vehicles.